If people don't take you seriously, it's often nothing to do with your confidence. It is because your signals don't match your capability. A lot of people, they think that this is people with no fashion taste, no fashion sense, but it's a lot to do with personality wiring. So this can happen to a lot of people, whether or not they have fashion taste. Nowadays, when TikTok trends, social media is all about the algorithm, what is trending, I think it's more and more important that we sit down and educate ourselves in terms of this kind of consumption, fashion consumption, what we're wearing. Are we really responsibly consuming it, and how are we putting our best foot forward with the things that we wear, and how what we wear, our buying behavior when it comes to fashion, how is that helping us with our wellness? How is it helping us mentally? So in this video, I want to discuss the 5 signals that would support you to command respect, to help you appear more competent, and how your MBTI cognitive function or your personality type sabotages you, which you can use as a guide to see if this is showing up in your outfits or what you wear on a day-to-day. So if you're someone that is looking to appear more competent, you want to command more respect, learning about these 5 quiet status signals is going to help you to make sure that your outfit showcases that. Be aware that your MBTI type and cognitive function, how is it influencing it? Mistakes are not random, they are patterned. There is a pattern to what we wear, and for people like us who study Enclothed Cognition, what people wear, how they behave, and how others perceive them, it is very clear to us on why some people get more opportunities, succeed faster, speak with confidence, have more charisma of what they wear, and is congruent to what they want to showcase from the inside. So for those of you who are very new to MBTI, I'm going to do a very quick recap about why I'm linking this MBTI framework and personality to what I'm about to show you, which is the 5 status signal for respect. So what do I mean is that when you search online, you will see all this beautiful, amazing mood board about someone's personal style and what an INTJ would wear, what an INFJ would wear, what an ENFJ would wear. That also made me realize that there is a stereotype to how each MBTI type approach fashion, how their cognitive function influences their decision when it comes to mix and match or what they decide to wear, and even their overall take on fashion. Are you the one that dresses for social belonging, or are you the one that goes for individuality? Now, if you are into MBTI, this video is going to be a treat and it's going to be highly beneficial for you because I assume you already know what are cognitive function. So, for those of you who are new, cognitive function basically is a set of tools that you use in your mind. It's just the makeup of your personality type. So why are we looking at cognitive function? In order to understand how it can affect the way we signal respect in terms of what we wear. It's because your cognitive function are basically mental habits that controls how you make decisions, what you focus on, what you value, and most importantly, what you ignore. So in each MBTI type, you have your dominant function and the bottom 2 function that is not so developed. So either you are insecure about it, you use it sparingly, not enough, and you are probably insecure about it. But what we are focusing on today is the overuse of a dominant function causing you to send the wrong signals to people, but signals that you under-communicate. So your dominant function shapes your decision, it shapes how you move through the world, without a lot of effort, you being in the flow, and most importantly, your dominant cognitive function shapes what signals you under-communicate. And this can affect how you dress and how people would perceive you, whether or not they should respect you or find you credible or find you competent. This is the linkage. So that's why highly capable people can still be overlooked, underestimated, or misread. So this video is about correcting those function level blind spots so that you are more aware of it. Of everything that I'm going to mention from here onwards, only one rule governs everything today. If you reduce visual noise, you will increase authority. It's not to say that you wear t-shirt, jeans, and that's it. You are on your way to commanding respect. That is wrong. There is a very particular formula and a way to signal for people to respect you. So let's go through the 5 signals, and I'll explain in each signal how a certain MBTI type, their function, under-communicates it. Signal number 1, clean silhouette. Silhouette is the first authority signal. Why? Because this sends the visual communication of, is this person grounded, controlled, and orderly? When you have a clean silhouette, it showcases that you have a calm state of mind, that you are very stable on the inside. And especially for MBTI types who struggle to appear structured, people don't really take you seriously, having a clean silhouette is going to help you to appear structured and composed. Overusing their introverted intuition, they can sometimes go for things that are too casual and too basic, that lack structure, all because of comfort. And in result, people don't respect them or think that they are as competent as they are. Your physical reality, your sensation, physical reality also means clothing. You don't know what actually works or how people actually perceive it because you have your NI. You assume, you make assumption. So I've met a lot of INTJs who appear way too basic and casual because they think that I don't really care about what I wear. Most importantly is what's in my mind and my strategy and my vision. By the time that you explain your vision, people are already not interested with what you have to say based on what you show in 7 seconds. INFJs, they tend to either look very peculiar, wanting to look so individualistic, don't want to be forgotten, and appreciating a certain art that nobody understands. So sometimes what they wear will be a little bit out of control, less structured, not as refined as how it should be. I would say that INFPs and ISFPs as well would make this mistake because authenticity over boundary. Because anything that looks clean, refined, composed is like pushing down a bunch of fashion rule for them. And for ISFPs, INFPs is all about introverted feeling, FI. So when you have this dominant function, you have the inferior function of extroverted thinking, which is TE, effectiveness, what works, your credibility, your reputation, how people perceive you. And so you under-communicate that, and therefore you don't try to dress to impress. You dress for your own comfort or for your mood, in which is not helping you to get the kind of respect that you want. Because FI resists constraints. And so when you resist the constraint, you kind of avoid all the successful tips or formulas that actually helps you to get what you want in life. There's a reason why you are insecure with what you think, how people think of you. You see how that is a problem. So INTJs, INFJ, you have a lot of depth, but when you don't wear clean silhouettes or certain structure to your outfit, put some attention to your extroverted sensing inferior, to put on outfit that actually commands the respect, you will get overlooked. The same goes for IPs and ISFPs. You have a lot of depth too with your introverted feeling, but what does all the storytelling means when nobody would pay attention to what you say because they doubt it or they don't find you credible? Silhouette is authority before you speak. Signal number 2, visual quietness. So, quiet status requires visual restraint. Basically, it means when you have too many details, too many colors, too many signals, it causes people to think that you are either confused or you confuse other people. This is especially true for people who clashes a lot of accessories. So what is the mistake here with extroverted intuition people is that You wear too many colors, too many ideas mixed together, and too many statement pieces. It could be your iconic graphic tee, it could be your rebellious rock t-shirt, or it's just peculiar details all mixed together because you think it looks interesting and new, novelty, right? Because NE wants everything to stay open and don't want to be restricted. So how can you contain this and look visually quiet is have only 2 to 3 color palette and repeat those outfits and have at least one anchor piece that it kind of repeats itself. I know it sounds pretty awful for NE users because they want everything new, but remember, when you stimulate people with a lot of details, not only that you make them confused, it makes it harder for you to influence them, which is why people don't find you that reliable or think that you deserve respect because there's nothing to take seriously of. And then I would say the SE dominant people, which is ESFP, ESTPs, why is this happening for you? Certain thing looks very boring to you because it's too clean, it's too polished, it's too refined. For you, it's all about high contrast, trend heavy, high impact outfits because extroverted sensing optimizes impact. You will see ESFPs wearing red and pink together, or you will see ESTPs going really for details or like statement pieces that really sends a very strong message because they want impact. So reducing the contrast, bringing down the visual noise is going to help you to appear more in control, more authoritative rather than all over the place. Nobody finds someone that has energy all over to be reliable. So fewer focal points, clean. Ultimately, charisma without containment loses authority. Signal number 3, grooming as a status signal. So grooming signals self-management. People subconsciously think if they manage the details, they manage responsibility. So someone with good grooming shows a lot of accountability, shows responsibility. Because it is the little details that you don't take care about, people unconsciously or subconsciously think that you will be careless with other things as well. So the little things accumulates. And so I have to be very careful with how I position this as I don't want to stereotype too much and put certain MBTI type into a bad position. But I would say because their internal logic, they value more of that rather than external perception. So they have this sense of rebelliousness as well. Like, I don't care about it. It's not causing me problems. So most importantly is what I think is true or what works for me. It doesn't have to work with everybody else. Because TI doesn't value signaling. Why? Because they under-communicate the part where they need to look like they have social belonging. This is their inferior function, extroverted feeling because they rarely care about what people feel about them. Therefore, they think that they can get away with a little bit of bad grooming. Because INTP and ISTPs, they have issues with staying true to or being disciplined with certain things. I think this is where they need to systemize their routine in order to make it happen. But it holds true for SI dominant users as well. You'll be very surprised that I have to put ISTJ and ISFJ on the spot. Because these are the people that cares a lot about their impression and how people perceive them or how people experience them. So if you go to a house of ISTJ or ISFJ, God forbid that it looks untidy or not in a certain way, they do take care a lot about how people experience them as a whole. Is so stuck in their introverted sensing that they go into comfort and familiarity and have outdated grooming standards as I resist unnecessary change. So for example, the ISTJ or ISFJ has been wearing that same kind of makeup style the whole time, but because they've upgraded their style, trends have changed, things have been updated, but because they're familiar with how it looks or how it works, but it clashes with their personal style or their outfit, they just don't see it because it's comfort, it's familiarity. So the same goes to health, right? Because now with technology, AI, there are more and more advanced ways to find out about how you should do certain things. It can be health, it can be grooming, it can be everything else. But ISTJs, they don't verify what they know. Because they know so much, they store all this knowledge in their system, right? That they go through it over and over again, thinking that it works even 10 years ago, 20 years ago, it still works today. So it is that comfort and familiarity that causes them to resist change that sometimes makes them look like they don't take care of their standards. Neglect doesn't read as you being humble. You not taking care of your grooming, it only reads that you have a low standard. And consistency is a competence signal. For people who care less about their grooming, they think that they're going to get away with it, that is the first sure-way sign for you to lose respect and appear less credible than you are. Signal number 4, one anchor piece. So this is what we call the power essential. How we coined this term is because in the world of fashion, you have a lot of essential pieces. Everybody needs essential pieces. So these are your typical white shirt, black pants, boyfriend blazer. You have a set for women, you have a set for men. And essential pieces, basically, most people in the world would own if they are into fashion. So they would just look like everybody else. So it's just essential. It is safe pieces. But power essential are things that are uniquely you. For example, someone that is known to wearing leather pieces all the time, they are remembered for their pieces. It's like when you look at Victoria Beckham, she has a signature style. No matter what she wears, even though she tries to be a little bit different, it still has her flavor. So essentially, a power essential is that one anchor piece that represents your signature style, that is uniquely empowering you. For TE dominant users like ENTJ, ESTJ, they tend to always go for very structured, very dominating, very powerful looks. And so they can end up looking like that corporate robot where they're always wearing that same business authoritative outfit over and over again, because they're always trying to signal that they're competent. And when they look like everybody else, wearing that same pinstripe suit or that black blazer, it doesn't really send any message with the fact that they are unique, that they have their unique point of view. Extroverted feeling is on the second function, but it's the dominant function. Because they don't want to stand out in the crowd, they often wait for the trend to kind of go up, right? And everybody else is wearing that trend, that they will start adopting the trend. The whole reason for this is so that they don't make everybody else look like they're out of place. They are the ones that will dress for social belonging. They will follow the trends. They will wear what everybody else is wearing because looking individualistic is selfish for them. They want to be selfless because extroverted feeling is the opposite of introverted feeling. Introverted feeling is about what they feel, but feeling is doing things about how other people would feel. And so they will try to wear things that looks like everybody else, and then they don't look individualistic, they're not taken seriously, their voice is not loud enough. So having that one anchor piece, your power essential that showcases your unique voice, your unique style, is going to help you to command respect. And most importantly, self-respect for yourself. Signal number 5. This is probably one of the most important out of the 4 that I've mentioned, because this is not a particular outfit. This is about consistency over time. A lot of people don't realize that consistency is the highest level status signal. I used to be in a position in my early 20s when I first joined the workforce. Working in an office environment, there's a lot of competition, a lot of comparison. You can't help yourself, right? And I remember I had a colleague where she was wearing so many different clothes and wearing different bags almost every single day that I wonder how much money does she make that she would be able to afford not even wearing repeated outfit, because she's constantly having different signature style. Signature style doesn't happen if you don't repeat it. She just keeps wearing new clothes and new trends to the point that I don't know what is her signature style. I was insecure because I was like, there you go again. I'm still wearing that same blazer over and over again like a uniform. When I deep dive into this rabbit hole of psychology, fashion, how it influences your perception, cognitive function, and personality, that I realized that people who explore all the time and don't have one fixed identity is sabotaging themselves. They are making themselves look more insecure, unassured, and just overall not confident with what they are portraying. It means they are directionless, right? So consistency is the highest level status signal. When you're consistent, you look assured, you look stable, you look reliable. I don't care if you say it looks boring, because oftentimes the boring things is what sticks, sends impact and message. Consistency is boring for people who don't have discipline. So this is your ENTP, ENFPs, because they seek constant reinvention. And then FI dominant people as well, because they wear what they feel things differently every day, so it ends up resisting like it's a uniform. They need to always be aligning it with their feeling, which is going to look very different every day. TI dominant people as well, because they might not value consistency as much, because it's all about exploration, it's about the internal logic. And because TI dominant people can rebel quite a fair bit to society norm or what is standardized or what works, therefore they can be a victim to this as well. People trust what feels stable. Consistency creates psychological safety. So for those of you who are into novelty, exploration, how people perceive you, whether they find you reliable, credible, or to be respected or not. So here's the real insight. Your dominant cognitive function over-communicates one thing and it under-communicates another. So going back to TI dominant users, if you care so much about what you think only is true, you wouldn't care what everybody else thinks is true, then you'll be missing out a lot of things that actually works. So that also means that you should forsake dress codes, you should forsake all the fashion rules that actually help people to appear in a certain way and get to the goals in life. And then for extroverted feeling dominant users, if you are always trying to please everybody else, make everybody else feel comfortable, harmonize, you are over-communicating the FE through what you wear, but you are also under-communicating the part that you have a voice, that you should have your own opinion and that you are confident with it, that you are a unique individual. So style is cognitive balance made visible. The real leverage is knowing which function is running you, which cognitive function is your dominant side, is constantly pulling you to do that, and which signal actually weakens when that happens. This is not just particularly on outfits. I do this because I have a community that I'm trying to keep alive, which is helping people to dress in a more sensible way and not just following trends. Leverage is knowing how to correct it without losing your authenticity in outfits. It's all about balancing. If you overdo something, you have to pay the price for it. If you don't know what signal you under-communicate, that is really a problem. So if you want to learn more and you want to work with me to develop your style journey or your signature style that with your personality, check out the description box below. Have a consultation. I will coach people through this journey, not just on self-development with their personality, but it's also how they project themselves to other people that's going to help them with confidence on the outside as well. Anyways guys, thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!